So this is going to be the angular reactive forms.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you are
Yeah,
audible.
good.
Okay, what was the last discussion?
It was all about forms and the
Reactive
react
form.
template driven forms.
Template driven form. Did you get a chance to do a
Yes,
form?
we did it. We did it.
Okay, you want to share your screen?
It's office laptop, but I did it.
No, anybody else?
I also did, but didn't complete everything.
Okay, okay, fine.
But I have a question.
Yeah,
So if you do your screen share and do the form demo one, I'll ask a question
yeah.
for you.
Yes,
So here we are making red or green based on the ng invalid or valid, right?
yeah,
But when we load the page, at that time it's ng pristine, I think, not dirty, right? So
yeah,
how, I mean, I want to avoid the border as red or green at the beginning. I mean, if it is not dirty, it should not be showing anything. How
yeah.
do I do
I
that?
got your point. So now the question is, on page load, the border should not be red or green, right?
Right.
If we
Yeah,
go and
because
do
it's not
something
dirty.
when it is dirty, then
Uh-huh.
only it should show.
Right.
Then we have to write a condition in CSS. If the input box has class ng dirty and ng invalid, then show border. So we have to
Um,
write that.
so in CSS we can write condition.
Yeah, we cannot write condition. I mean, I just took that word, but uh, we have to write something like this. Give me a second. Okay. If the input box is having ng invalid
Mhm.
and ng invalid, hmm, apply CSS when an element has two classes.
Dot dot. We just give dot dot. Div
Yeah, yeah.
input dot invalid dot pristine or whatever it is.
Let's see. Let's see. Dot something, dot
Okay, cool.
something.
And now?
Now inside this, we will write the logic. So if it has dot foo and
Shall I
dot
do
bar,
capital level,
yeah, then
capital?
input
Yeah,
dot
one
ng,
second. Okay, that's right.
ng invalid, and uh, if we say ng, let me do it again. Give me a second. If the input box has ng invalid, dot ng valid, and dot ng dirty, then it should be like this. Dot ng valid and dot ng dirty, it should be like this. So now nothing is there. When we type, it's dirty and valid.
But we need
Now
to
it's
Uh-huh.
target
dirty and
input.
invalid.
We need to target
Right?
input.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Those all things we
Right.
can do, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
got it, got it.
Yeah. I need 1 minute. Huh? 1 second, guys. Yeah, I'm back. So hope that is clear, right? We
Yes, it
can
is.
we can write some condition like this and we can control. Okay, fine. Now now we'll continue. The next thing I'm supposed to discuss today is, yeah, all these things we discussed yesterday. Validation discussed. Assignment, you have to do it. Today we will discuss model driven form. Let's discuss what is model driven form and how it is better than template driven form. Yeah. For model driven form, what we have to do? We have to import reactive forms module to our module and add it to imports array, that we know. For every module, we have to add it to imports array. So maybe that is already done. If it is not done, I'll do it again. I'll go to my project. I'll go to app.module.ts. I can see reactive forms module is already added. If it is not there, please add. Second thing, in view file, use form group, use form group, use form group with the form. This is how we will create a form in the view. So let's create a component. The component name will be form demo 3, form demo 3, and I'll use app form demo 3. This is a new component, form demo 3.html. In form demo 3 HTML, I am creating a form. The form has form group whose name is register form, registration form, whatever it is. Don't go by the name. This is just a user defined name. This is predefined name. Once this is done, use form control name with every field. With every field, we have to use form control name. We have to use form control name for every field. So let me create a paragraph, first name, and this one. Input type equal to text, form control name equal to first name. then last name, last name.
Take one example for radio button, checkbox, and drop down as well.
Yeah. Okay. Let's say we will take one example for state. Hmm. We'll have address and we will use state there. Next, use form group, use form control name with every form field, use form group name to group multiple form fields. So whenever we have to combine multiple things, we will use form group name. Form group name is address. Inside this, again we will have lot of form fields. So one of them is street name, street, then one is street. Next is, let's say, state, and state is a drop down. So we will use select. It will be dynamic, but for now I will use some static value. Select form control name equal to form control name is state, and we will have options, option, option. Let's say few state names. Like this. We have few state names. Then we have a pin code. We have a pin code whose form control name is pin. Whose form control name is pin. Yeah. So we are done with point number one, point number two. Do you have any questions so far?
No.
No. So
Can we
in
move forward? Did not give any type create radio button.
did not give any.
Input output types, male, female.
You can add and see. You can add and
Yeah.
try.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll show you one drop down. You can try radio button and check works. If I do everything, you will get to learn. I mean, you will not try that. I want you people to do it. I should do only the minimum things. You should do all the edge cases. You should do more things than
Okay.
me. Yeah. Now we have the view ready.
Actually, we
Only
have
view is
done
not.
Sanjay one
Uh,
minute.
is it not working?
Actually, we have done that, but at time of doing self study, we missed some basic concepts. So we
Okay.
wanted
Okay.
to.
Yeah. Yeah. We can. I'll add one. We'll
Yeah.
add one and see. Yeah. Okay. So we have. Mm, okay. Let's see first of all how model driven form looks like. We imported. We added these things in view. In view, we added a form group. We added form control name for every input field, and we added form group name if we have to create object inside object. So we have first name, last name, address is one object inside a register form, and address is street, state, and pin code. Okay. Now, this is not enough in model driven form. We need some TypeScript changes also. For template driven form, no TypeScript changes are required. But in model driven form, we need a TypeScript changes. What all TypeScript changes we need? First of all, we have a form group here. Na? Here we have a form group whose name is register form. This must be a instance of form group class. So in in demo 3, sorry, in demo 3 component, first of all we have to create one form group class object. So what we have to do, we have to declare registration form. Hmm. Then first of all we have to declare it top of the class register form. Inside ng on init, we can call a method and we can do whatever we want to do. So we can say initialize my form. We can call a method or we can directly write those logic inside ng on init. Anything is fine. So I'm initializing my form. I'm initializing form inside ng on init. This is a user defined method. I'm creating a method not to write more logic inside ng on init. Now here what I'll do, this dot register form should be a form control object, new form control, sorry, form group, new form group. Form group is one predefined class. We need to create one object for form group. We need to create one object for form group and assign it to the variable which is being used in the HTML, register form. Register form is equal to new form group. This is how we should do. And this form group, one form group will have lot of form control. First form control is first name, which is a new form control object. That form control, that form control, huh. Now we will create lot of form controls. One is first name, one is last name, the third one is uh, address, the third one is address. Address is not a plain field. Address is again one object. So we will say new form group. Inside this, again we will create city. City is a form group. Sorry, form control. Form control. City, state, and pin. Please understand this is very important. So we have register form. This register form, what is this? It will hold one form group object. So here we are writing this dot register form is equal to new form group. I want to create a form group object, and that form group object will have first name, last name, address. What is first name? First name is a form control object. What is last name? Is a form control object. What is address? Address is a form group object. City is form control. State is form control. Pin is form control. Is it clear so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if we go and print the things here, if we try to print the things here, register form dot value, we should be able to print register form. Is it valid? Is it valid? We should be able to understand whether it is valid or not. What is the value? All these things we will be able to print now. Now if I go and fill the things here, you see automatically it is saying first name is null, last name is null, city is null, state is null, pin is null, and it is not valid. Validation is false. Validation is false. Now I can add submit and reset button. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So we have a form and hmm, fine. Fine. Now, okay, we have a form. Now, what happens when we fill here Sachin Tendulkar? It keeps filling. Street is something, some street one, state is Karnataka, pin code is 560037. So first name, last name, address, city, oh city. Oh, we don't have city, na? We have street, city, state, pin. So then here it should have been city, city, city. Huh. So now first name, last name, city is Bangalore, state is Karnataka, pin code is something. Yeah, city is Bangalore, state is Karnataka, pin is 560037. Is it clear? Anything?
Yes, it's
Any
clear.
question so far?
But why we need to pass in that object way, or that is the structure we need to follow? Like one from group instance only we need to create.
Yeah, that is the syntax. We have to follow that
Okay, okay.
in model driven form. Maybe when we keep discussing more and more example, it will make more sense. But in model driven form, we have to do like this. Yeah. In next 5-10 minutes, we will get lot of things again. Do you have any questions so far?
Can you go back to the TS file once?
Yeah.
So at the initialize time, you have declaring all the fields here. Should we have something similar in the model class or something to capture all the fields?
Yes, we can have a model class. Let's say I want to show some default value, right? I want to
Right.
show some default value, and this register form should have user information. What type of information it should have? What all fields it should have? All for all those things, we can create a model. We can create a user model. In that user model, we can have first name, last name, address, city, state, pin. All these things we can maintain in a model.
All right.
We should have a model to add extra validation whether we are
So
following the
if we
structure or not. Hmm.
okay, if we have model, uh, again we need to do the line number 20 again. Yeah.
Yes, yes, this is
Okay.
must.
Okay.
This
Okay.
is
Okay.
must.
So one
Okay.
last
I'll show you. I'll show you what is the importance of this. What is the importance of this? I'll show you in next 2-3 minutes only.
so just
You
last
don't have to
question.
wait more, huh?
Yeah, like once we read the life cycle model, generally you said that ng on init we are not supposed to do anything apart from the API logic or the time consuming logic only. Uh, but
No,
we are
we are
calling
not
this form
supposed to do in constructor, not in ng on init.
ng on init. Generally, we do API logic and time consuming logic, right? Like API call and all we do inside ng on init, correct?
Yeah, so when the component is getting initialized, whatever logic you want to execute, we can do it here. This is the best place to initialize the form also.
Oh, base plus to initialize the form also here.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Or maybe the constructor, line number 50 should go to constructor.
We can do it in constructor as well. There will be not much difference.
Okay.
Yeah, but constructor, it is not recommended to do it in constructor because constructor will have all the dependencies, I mean the service dependencies, and initialize your class members. Here we are doing the same thing only, right? We are initializing the class member here.
Yeah, that's why.
So let's move it here.
Now it
We
makes
can
sense.
move it
Yes,
there.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Hmm. Now what we will do, so why are we doing this? Because in model driven form, what if I want to give some default value? What if I want to add some validation? So all those things will be done here. If I want to give some default value, when I create form control, the first argument is default value. If you see the syntax, yeah, if you see the syntax, this is form control. How can I see the syntax? How can I see the syntax? How many arguments it takes?
So remove
Remove
that bracket one.
closing
One
opening
bracket.
bracket.
No, it's not showing.
No, add the opening bracket.
Type one bracket, it will show.
Yes.
Yes.
No, it is not showing key form control
No,
takes how
no,
many
click on that
arguments. What
There are
section.
five overloaded functions. It's not
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, I can see now. I can see now. You see here. So when you see here, the form control constructor takes a value. It takes value. Then it takes options. You see, we have yeah. It takes value, then validators, then async validator. So these are the parameters we can pass to form control. So the first one is value. So let's pass some default value. If I want to pass some default value, if I want to pass some default value, I can pass while creating the form control object. This is the beauty of model driven form. Now, if you want to add some validations, it will go to second argument. In the second argument, add one array and write validators dot required validators dot min length of 5. Somebody was showing me, right? Somebody was showing me uh, this is my response. Using my response, if I have to create a form, how I will be able to do it? Do you remember a few days back, right? Do you remember?
No.
No. Okay, maybe in other batch. I'm not able to
Maybe.
recall. Yeah, could be in other batch. Somebody had a JSON. In that JSON array, it was written 10 objects. So if there are 10 objects, there should be 10 input boxes shown. So we don't have to write input boxes statically like this. We have to write ng for. Using ng for, we have to create the input box or radio button or drop down, whatever it is. So this form control also can be generated from that array. Just iterate that. If there are 10 objects, 10 form controls will be created here. If there are 10 objects, 10 input boxes will be generated here. So for that purpose, this will be useful, model driven form. In model
That
driven
is why it
form,
is for dynamic range, right?
yeah, dynamic form. We will also discuss that, how to create dynamic form. But what is the benefit? The benefit is most of the logic we write in TypeScript file, we don't write it in HTML so that we have more control. So when we create a form control, we pass the default value, we pass the validators, what all validators you want to run. Only thing we have to do is the validation message we have to write here. Even if I don't write required here, the validation is already added. So what we have to do is we have to add the validation message that we have to do. So we have to add a validation message here, which I am going to show you. Now you see the default value. Default value Sachin is already added. And it is because of, this is because of this one. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So to create a model driven form, we have to import reactive forms module. We have to do these changes in HTML file. We have to do these changes in TS file, form group and form control. Yeah, we can use form group and form control, but there is another class available. There is another class available. The class name is form builder. There is another class available. The class name is form builder. For static form group is enough. But if you want to create dynamic form and all, form builder will be more useful. Angular form builder API, or we can say form builder class, makes it easier to build reactive forms. We can easily add form group inside a form builder. We can easily add nested form groups. We can easily add form arrays. We can easily add form controls. Form array means lot of forms. Inside a form builder, we can have lot of forms. We can have lot of form controls. And it helps to create a dynamic form with a dynamic number of fields. It is mainly used when we have to create dynamic form with a dynamic number of fields. How to use form builder? Okay. Now I'll have another function here. The function name is uh, this dot initialize my form, initialize my form using form builder. This is another function. In this function, what I'll do, I'll comment is, now we are discussing the other way, the second way we are discussing. So the function name is initialize my form using form builder. For that, what we have to do, we have to inject form builder, we have to inject form builder into our component class. It's a predefined service. It's a predefined service. So what we have to do, we have to import form builder service to our component. So in constructor, we have to import form builder, form builder. Yeah. Next, this dot contact form equal to this dot form builder dot group. We have to use form builder instance dot group method. So what we will do here, we will say, so here we will say this dot register form is equal to this dot form builder dot, it has lot of methods. What all methods it has? Array, control, group, record. So we are going to create a group. We are going to create a form. To create one form, group method. To create one array of forms, array method. So here we are creating one form, so we will use group method. In this group method, into this group method, copy paste this object and copy paste this object. Directly we can copy paste that object. This object we can pass. This object we can pass. That's all. It does the same thing. It does the same thing. it does the same thing. Now, if we see the UI, there is no difference. It works.
Second operation for to add the dynamic fields, right?
Yeah. We are yet to discuss how to add dynamic fields. But if I have a form group and I want to change it to form builder way, what all changes we have to make, please understand that. I'll come to dynamic form. So this is still static form. We know how many fields will be shown. So I'll discuss a dynamic form. Is it clear if it is form group, how it will look like? If it is form builder, how it will look like?
So we are doing same thing only, just wrapping it under from builder with the group
Yes,
method.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
The
what
use case of
it,
form builder we will understand when we start a dynamic form.
what is the difference between of the two? These
Form
two.
builder API has more methods. It has more methods where you can create array of forms. You can create one form. So those all things will be possible. Okay, form group is for one form. What if I want to insert 10 forms inside a page dynamically? There will be add button. On click of add button, another form will be added. Array of forms I want to have in a page. That time this form builder will be useful. Now, now what we will do, we will add validation to this. So we understood how to use form group. We understood how to use form builder. Now we will add validation to this. If we want to add validation, what we have to do, let's understand. Model driven form with validation. If we want validation also, what we have to do? Let's understand how to add validation. Yeah, maybe I can add a submit function here. I'll add a submit function. Submit is equal to submit my form and submit my form, and we can pass register form dot value, and submit my form is a function here. Submit my form is a function. It takes form data, form data, and it prints here. Okay, this is how it looks like. Okay, fine. Now we will add validation to this. If we have to add validation to this, what we will do? Let's understand. What we have to do. Let's understand. Now let's see how this form looks like. Not value, the whole form. How this form looks like. So when we submit, this is how it looks like. This is how it looks like. What happened? Oh, I'm in network tab. So it's a form group. Inside the form group, we have controls. Inside controls, we have address, first name, last name, first name. What is the status? Is it resting or not? We will be able to get all these things. Okay. So how to add validation message? To add validation message, I'll write here span first name is mandatory. Minimum 5 characters required. We have two messages. To show this message, we will write a condition ng if form control name is first name, form control name is first name, but we have to say register form dot controls dot first name, sorry, register form dot controls dot first name dot dot has error, has error required. If it has required error, show this message. And if it is dirty, if it is dirty, show this message. So this is the condition. The same condition, let me add for min length. If it has min length issue, then show this message. Okay. Now, if we go and see, so it has no error. When I delete, it says minimum 5 characters required. It says first name is mandatory. Is it clear? Any question here?
No question.
Okay. Okay. If it is clear, now tell me how frequently the validation is running. The options are on key up, on blur, on submit, on page load. How frequently it is running?
On key up.
On key up. What other options you have seen in websites? One is on key up. So every time I do something, the validation is running. What other things you see?
On blur.
Blur.
On blur.
On blur. What other things? On submit.
On
On no submit.
Yeah, that is on blur only, we can say. Sometimes what happens, even if your form has issues or problems, you will not see until unless you submit. As soon as you click on submit, it will show you all the red icons, right? That is one type of validation.
Yes.
Another validation is you type, when you tab out, you see the issue present in this input box, right? These are
Yeah.
the possible
yes,
options,
sir.
right? What are the possible options to show error message? On key up, on blur,
On submit.
on submit. Yeah, these are the possible options. Now the current behavior is on key up. So every key up, the validation is running. You can see here, right? If I want my validation to run on blur or on submit, what changes I have to make? Let's understand that. Validate a form on blur or on change or on submit. By default, it is on change. You have to do nothing if you want on change validation. If you want, if you want on blur validation or on submit validation, you have to do something. What we have to do? Let me explain. There are two things. One thing is, if your form has only one or two input boxes, we can add that blur wala part in every input box. We can do that in every input box, or we can do it for whole form. If we want to do it for whole form, if we want to do it for whole form, then whenever we are creating form group object, whenever we are creating form group object, after this, add another object add another object, and in this object we will add update on submit, or update on blur. We can say update on submit or update on blur. Update on submit. This is update on submit. When we say update on submit, now let's try this. Huh. I will delete the existing value. When I delete the existing value, this input box has some error. Does it have some error or not?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, it has.
it
Yeah,
has
yeah.
some error.
Minimum.
Even though it has some error, the error message is not being shown because I want my error handler to work while submitting the form. So while submitting the form, the error handler will run. Got it?
Yes.
The error handler will not run on every key up. Now I will type a valid value. Huh. So when I type a valid value, it's a valid value. But why the error message is not gone? It is still shown because my error handler will be running while submitting the form. So even though I have a valid value here, this input box has no error, still the error message is shown. It is logical because we want the error handler to run on submit, not on change. So this is on submit handling. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
There is another option, update on blur. If you want to validate your form on blur, then yeah. So you type nothing here. This input box has problem, but we don't see any error message. When we try to move out of this box, we will see error message. See, I will go back to my first name. I will type a valid value in my first name. Now there is no error. So when I tab out, the error message is gone. So when I delete, even though this input box has some problem, the error message is not shown because my error handler will run only when I tab out. Hope it is clear, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So for that, we don't have to do much. We just have to add extra configuration, update on submit or update on blur. We have to add extra configuration. This much we have to add. The default one is on change. If you want on change, do nothing. By default, it is on change. Are we clear?
Yes. So this option is available only for form builder, right? Not with form group.
It is there with form group also.
Okay.
Yeah, it is there with form group also. What is not there with form group is dynamic part. Yeah, it is there with form group also. But it is not there in a template driven form.
Yeah, they are only we need to manage with the classes and all.
Yeah. So that is where we can say model driven form is powerful than template. We are yet to discuss the actual benefit of model driven form when we discuss a dynamic form. Maybe that will be useful. Are we clear so far?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Or we can write our own method also, right? Like to control the validation in a more controlled way.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
we can do that. We can
Where
do
we
that.
where we will pass that like method.
I'll explain. Ah, one more thing I forgot to tell you. When we use form builder, right? When we use form builder has getters and setters also. So we can say get age, get address. We can use getters and setters with form builder, which we don't have for form group.
What do we do with that getters and setters?
If you want to get this input box value, if you want to get this input box value, you just getter get of age. Age is the
Okay.
form control name, and get age return this dot my form dot get age, this dot my form dot get address.
We can get from the main object also, no? Submit. You are passing something.
We can do that, but it's simple
Additionally,
to
okay,
access, huh?
okay, okay, okay.
Or else you have to uh, drill down the object.
Got it, got it. Or some template reference variable you did it
Yeah, yeah,
like that.
yeah. Hmm. Is it clear? Hmm? Okay. Now, okay. We will understand how to have our custom validation. Maybe tomorrow we will discuss dynamic form. It will take some time. Today we will discuss how to have our custom validation. We know there are a lot of validations we have in Angular itself. If I want email validation, it's not a big deal for me. I can just add another thing here. Let me add a field email. Email is a new form control, and the value is abc@gmail.com, and we can have validations here. The validation is validators dot email, validators.email. This is enough. This is enough. Now what we will do, we will add email field in HTML. So let's add email field in HTML. I will use this one so that it will be easy for me to get the validations. Hmm. So this is email, form control name is email, input type equal to email. Okay. So if email has error, if it has email problem, then email is not correct. Email format is not correct. And for mandatory, for required check, huh, okay. So we can validators dot required. All these things we can always do. We know that. Now if we go here, and let me change it to on change so that it should run on change. Yeah, what happened? New form control. Okay,
In the design, some more things we have to change. Still there is some thing.
let me check. Input type email, form control name is email.
Required
Id,
means RE. D is missing.
First
Required.
name, sir.
required.
Yeah.
You have to change the first name to email
Where?
in span tag.
Line number?
And
No, no, no.
17, 18.
17 and 18.
First name, register form dot
Okay,
control.
okay. Yeah, got it. Okay. Yeah, email is mandatory. When we type email format is not correct. Now it is correct, not correct. Email is mandatory. So this validation is working out of the box, and Angular provides all these validations. What if I want to write our custom validation? If we want to add our custom validation, then we can create a class. We can create a class and we can write our method. We can create a class and we can write our method like this. We can do like this. So let me create a class. Let's say I will create a class. Do we have utils folder? Source, source, app, utils is there. So inside utils, I'll create a class, ng generate class. Inside utils, create email validator or my email validator. My email validator. So it's a class. Now what it is doing? My email validator got created. My email validator is a class. This class should have a static method. Okay. This class should have a static method, because if you look at here, what are we doing? We are saying validators dot required. Validators is the predefined class. Required is a method. Validators dot min length. Validators is a predefined class. Min length is a method. So like that, in our case, my email validator is a class and we will have a method here. The method, let me copy paste this method. I don't want to write it. So what I'm doing, so please understand what we are doing here. Static is valid mail. Is valid mail is valid email is a function available in my validator class, and it takes the input box wherever you use. That input box you will get here. If input box dot value is not equal to sanjay@gmail.com, if it is not, I'm expecting exact this value. If it is not, I will consider it as a invalid value. So this is the exact value I want. If it is not like this, return invalid mail true, or else return null. The control is valid, or else the control is invalid. Take a look at this function and let me know if you have any question. Three things you have to remember. Class name is my email validator. Function name is valid email, invalid mail. Three things you have to remember. Class, function, and error object. Are we clear?
These are predefined.
Which one is predefined?
What is invalid email?
Invalid mail.
This is our user defined class name. This is user defined function name. This is user defined object. Are
So
we
you
clear?
have written an object or just a cube?
We need to return one object. In that object, that should have a key, and the key will be true or false.
Okay. And at line number, instead of returning null, maybe we can do invalid mail colon false.
We can do that. Yeah. Invalid mail colon false. We can do that. That's valid. Now,
it should be object.
It should be object. Why? Because once we use it, it will make more sense why it is object. This is a class. So you can remember that there is a class. The class has a static function. Class has a static function that returns one object. So this much we have to remember. That's all. There is a class which has a function which returns one object. That object has key true or false. This much we have to remember. This is the main thing. Now we have to add this along with other validations. So what we will do? Let's go here. Let's go here. Huh. So we have custom validation class created. Now we have to add it. To add it, to add it, along with other things, validators dot required, all those things, we will add another thing. The another thing is, oh my God, my email validator, which is a class, my email validator dot
এ বন্ধ করে দিয়ে
is
কথা বল।
valid email, is valid email, right? So here we have to write class name dot function name. Are we clear? In HTML, we will write the object name. Hope it is clear. Then
Yes.
we will go to HTML. In HTML, let's add another message. Another message. We will say custom validation error message. We can write anything here. And when it will run? Oh, okay. Wait. It should be for email. So here we will add custom validation error. And here, what we will write? Required email, like that, what we will write?
ইনভ্যালিড মেল।
Invalid mail.
Invalid mail. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, so the return object.
Yeah. Got it?
So it will come inside that controls, like whatever we are creating as an invalid email, that will come under the controls and all those things.
Yes. Correct. Now, so now it is dirty. When it becomes dirty, the custom validation error is coming. If I write the exact value it is expecting is this one. It is expecting exactly like this. The condition can be anything though. This is the only accepted value for this input box. This is not accepted. This is not accepted. This is not. This is the only value which is accepted. Even this is not accepted.
I mean, as we need to access with dot operators, so we are making it a static class like Java.
Yes. All those concepts remains the same.
Okay.
This is the class name dot static method name. Those object-oriented concepts remain same here also. So we have to remember three things. Class will have a function. Function will return one object. And that key we are using in HTML. And this key will have either true value or false value. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Next, like that, we have something called async validator in Angular. Maybe you can explore that also. Yeah. Angular doesn't provide built-in type async validation implementation. It provides only for sync validation, synchronous validation, but we can have async validator also. Async validator means one use case can be you keep typing, you keep typing. After every 3 seconds, you want to run a validation, something like that. Or once your typing is over, after a second, the validation should run. So for those kind of things, we can create async validator, and all the async validators will go here. So the syntax is default value, synchronous validation. After that, comma, async validators. This here, all your async validators will go. Default value, default value, then sync validators, then async validators. Maybe you can explore this. What is async validator and how to create async validator?
Sync and async both can be together.
Yeah, both can be together.
Currently, what we have implemented right now, that is sync validator, like
That is
email.
sync. Yeah, all these are sync.
Okay.
We can have one async validator. Explore how to add async validator. It's not that important.
Okay.
If it was important, I would have not missed it.
Sync means like why it is called sync? Like after submit it is getting clicked or blurred it is getting happened. That's why it is sync. In our case.
So yeah, here we can see async validator is very similar to the sync validator. The only difference is that async validators must return the result of the validation as an observable or promise. So here the custom validation that we created, it returns one plain object where we have key and value.
Hmm.
But async validator will return promise or observable. When we subscribe to that, we should get value. In this article, we will create an async validator for existing user. We will check the user exists or not using async validator. Uh, so when we keep typing, we will go and check whether this user is existing or not existing. This user exists in database or not. For that, we can create one async validator. So we have user service. User service has some usernames.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it will come from API, but this is a
Yeah, yeah.
static list of users. Now, there is a function check if username exists. If somebody calls this function by passing a value, it will return
Oh.
true or false. Okay.
So return op means that is op operator of that
Yeah.
RxJS.
Yeah. Of operator of
So that means it
RxJS.
will take individual value and make it a kind of observable kind of things.
Yes. Yes. Then we are creating a validator, username validator. This username validator, this is the class name, this is the function name. This function name, this function is injecting user service and it returns, it calls this and it returns username already exists true or null. But if you look at here, if somebody calls, it returns observable. You can see it
Yes.
returns one observable. Now whoever wants to use this will use like this. This is default value. Okay. Group. This is default value. This is
Sync validator.
no. Something is wrong. Where is sync validator? Oh, there is no sync validator. Only a sync validator. Username validator dot create validator this dot user service. By passing user service, it is calling create validator method. Create validator method. Then how to use it? Okay. Now while using, you see async validators, Then in HTML, we go use this. So what happens? Is there any demo? No, it's just an image. But we can try this. Just try this. Okay. And tomorrow we are going to discuss dynamic form. How to create dynamic form.
Sir, what all other methods are there under form group? Like once you removed one bracket, there were some some group came and other things are there. Like you did not like dot group, dot array or something you did.
Okay. Form builder dot array control group record.
Like group we
We'll
understand.
discuss. Array we will discuss tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So there was some radio button and checkbox built in as well. We have done that as practical purpose, but we didn't get more ideas. So it will be good if you take an example on that.
No, I don't understand what is the problem with radio button. Did you try something and it's not working? That makes sense. Or else let me quickly add one radio button. Let's say we have a radio button here.
We can discuss that further. Actually, at time of doing self-study, it will not clear all the things. Actually, at time of taking sessions on something, we are learning some new things.
Okay, I'll include a radio button in one of the form and also.
And sir, like you said like default value, sync validator, async validator. There are two other fields are there. What are the names of that two field? Like in the
I need to check the syntax. Angular for
builder.
group syntax. How many forms? How it looks like, what all arguments it takes, you will get everything. Form group is a class. This is a constructor. It takes controls, validator.
Async validators then.
Which line? Controls, validators, abstract control options, async validator. Yeah, that's all. After async validator, it closes. You see?
There is some abstract control of options maybe before.
No, that is of type. That is of data type.
Okay.
The black ones are parameter. One is controls. Validator
That we have
optional.
used. Yeah.
S invalidators.
This
This is the
is
syntax. Yeah,
got it, got it, got it.
yeah. Then it will return you a lot of things. It will return you controls. It will return you add a control, remove control, set control, patch value, reset, get raw value. Ah,
Yeah,
you
there is
see?
difference between set value, patch value. The interview they ask these things.
Hmm.
Yes,
Hmm.
got it, got it. Maybe you will explain set value and patch value also tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like once we learn from you, something new comes up that we don't know earlier. Like that.
I got something from Alok. Is it with radio and checkbox?
That's a radio button. I have checkbox as well. I did with the registration form.
Okay, it's working, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Or nothing special, right? I mean,
Nothing
we have to do
special.
nothing extra. Okay, okay. Okay, fine.
So I have a question here. Should you always prefer model-driven form rather than template-driven?
No. If your form structure is pretty clear to you, if you have a login form, which one we should use?
Maybe
We are
the
pretty clear
template one.
that, yeah, we are pretty clear that it will have only two fields, username and password, right?
Right.
So we should go with template driven form.
Okay.
So reactive form increase the bundle size also, like in case of login if we use, because it unnecessarily imports lots of classes.
It adds lot of classes and all. If something can be done with template driven form, then let's not over engineer by using model driven form.
Okay.
Yeah. If something that we cannot achieve in template driven form, then better go with model driven form. Or if I write 1,000 lines of code to achieve something in template driven form, and I can achieve that in model driven form in 100 lines of code, let's go with model driven form. And the example that we are going to discuss tomorrow will clear most of your questions. Why model driven form is there? That example we cannot do in template driven form. If you try, also we cannot do.
Okay.
So that example we are going to discuss tomorrow. Yeah. But it's my request, please practice a form. Try to add all the fields. So when you add input box, radio button, checkbox, drop down, if something is not working and we have to handle it in a special way, we will get to know, right? I tried with only input box, I didn't try with radio button, checkbox and all. So if there is any special way we have to handle radio or checkbox, we should know it. I assume we don't have to do anything extra for radio and checkbox also, but still just try that.
Yes,
Okay.
we are doing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all for today. We'll see tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the session, sir. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Good night. See you tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank you. Good night.
Okay.